Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. The leaders of Europe woke yesterday morning to a likely prospect most of them find frightening and would rather not contemplate Donald Trump as the next president of the United States. They must now plan for upheaval when it comes to American support for Ukraine, backing for NATO, penal tariffs on their exports to the United States, and whatever surprises the unpredictable Trump has up his sleeve that he's not yet told us about. The election was already going Trump's way, as a dottery, confused President Joe Biden has admitted that almost all Americans have concluded that he is unable to run for the next tenure, and Democrats had no backbone when it came to doing anything about it. But Saturday night's failed assassination attempt at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania makes a victory for the Donald more likely than ever. A number of American friends and sources contacted me overnight to say they thought Trump would now win by a landslide. And these were not supporters of him, they were all Democrats or never Trump Republicans. Team Biden planned to make liberal use during the campaign of that famous mugshot of Trump, taken in a Georgia jail last August, after he'd been indicted for racketeering, among other charges, while reminding everybody he was already a convicted felon. I remember writing at the time something along the lines that it would be the defining image of the presidential election of 2024. No longer. That accolade now goes to Trump, fist pumping the air, blood splattered across his face, shouting "Fight, fight, fight," as the Secret Service bundled him off the stage after he'd come less than an inch from death. There was even a huge American flag fluttering conveniently in the background. For Trump and his Make America Great Again movement, this will now become the totemic image of his candidacy. It will remind his true believers of the iconic image of United States Marines planting a huge flag on a hilltop after the brutal battle to take the island of Iwo Jima from the Japanese in early 1945. But that famous photograph involved an element of staging a smaller flag had previously been raised on the site. Trump's potent picture is entirely authentic. Nobody can dismiss it as fake news. The core theme of the Biden campaign, one that is heavily promoted by its many cheerleaders in the media, is that Trump is an existential threat to democracy. It's typical of the overheated rhetoric that now dominates debate on both sides of the political divide in America these days. But it will be rather harder to credibly deploy that line against a political candidate who came so close to losing his life campaigning in a Democratic contest. The shooting, in which, let us not forget, one person was killed and two seriously injured, has led to predictable calls for America to curb its hateful and hostile political discourse, in much the same way as Labour MP Joe Cox's murder during the Brexit referendum in 2016 produced pleas for a more civilized debate in our politics. I suspect such calls will be even less successful in America than they have been in Britain. President Biden and his Democratic predecessor in the White House, Barack Obama, were quick to condemn political violence, though their remarks were perfunctory and lacking any genuine outrage. Curiously, neither could bring themselves to use the words which would have properly described what had happened in attempted assassination. Far from cooling it, America is already awash with mad conspiracy theories, fueled by the incompetence of those meant to protect Trump in allowing a 20-year-old with a semi-automatic rifle to gain access to a rooftop overlooking the rally. Their ineptitude was highlighted in a remarkable BBC TV interview that ran across America's broadcast networks, in which one witness said he'd warned the police and security operatives that there was a shooter on a nearby roof. The Secret Service's chaotic efforts to evacuate Trump after the shooting only added to a loss of confidence. This is being taken by the conspiracy theorists as proof that it was all a deep state effort involving Secret Service to eliminate Trump, the MAGA camp's take, or that it was all staged by MAGA operatives to boost Trump's election chances. The nutty left's take such nonsense does not deserve the time of day. But the Secret Service and its associated law enforcement agencies are in for a terrible reckoning. There are already